It's common political rhetoric. I tell you what's not common. Remember when Jesse Jackson was caught on a hot mic? He was criticizing Obama for chastising black people, talking down to black people, and said he's going to cut his nuts off. Remember that? Now, I'm not sure that's common political rhetoric. I'm just saying. I'm not sure that's insurrection, but Mr. Obama might have a thing or two to say about it. A thing or two to say about it. Oh, pun intended. I have a question. We're going to get to the latest Capitol building, some twists in it. They might have a picture of the suspect who apparently was involved in the death of the Capitol Hill officer. The mayor of Portland wigged out when someone suggested that maybe, just maybe, your failure to deal with the violence in your streets caused the Capitol Hill police to be so lax in their responsibilities. He went bonkers. We're going to get to all that in just a second. But first, do you remember when Mr. Biden said this?
A little over an hour and a half after the chaos started, I got a text from my granddaughter, Finnegan Biden, who's a senior in her last semester at the University of Pennsylvania. She sent me a photo of military people in full military gear, scores of them lining the steps of the Lincoln Memorial because of protests by Black Lives Matter. She said, "Pop, this isn't fair. No one can tell me that if had been a group of Black Lives Matter protesting yesterday, they wouldn't have been treated very, very differently."
Okay. Just looking at the murder stats end of the year for Chicago, for St. Louis, for Baltimore. Chicago gets beaten up a lot because it's bigger than the other two cities, but the homicide rate in St. Louis and Baltimore is triple the homicide rate in Chicago. But here are the year-end numbers. Chicago, 774 people were murdered. 75% of the murder victims were black in a city with a population of 30%. Baltimore, 309 victims in 2018. About the same number right now, a little bit higher. The percentage of Baltimore murder victims who were black, 90%. Baltimore black population, 62.7%. St. Louis, homicides in 2020, 30% higher than any of the last 50 years. 87 murders per 100,000, 3 times higher than that of Chicago. Percentage of murder victims that were black in St. Louis, 90%. St. Louis population, 45%. When is Finnegan Biden, who's a senior at Penn, going to pick up her phone and say, Pop, this isn't fair. Suppose most of these murder victims were white. Wouldn't the government do something about it? This isn't fair, Pop. What if the murder victims were white? Said Finnegan Biden, who went to Penn, senior at Penn. Does that work? Pop, it isn't fair. There are 13 Baltimore high schools where 0% of kids can do math at grade level. What if these were white kids? Wouldn't government be doing something, Pop? It isn't fair. This thing on? I don't think this thing is on. I'm Larry Elder.